guys, it's Anzi. So today we're gonna do a speed paint of Sailor Pluto, which is one of my favorite characters from Sailor Moon. For line art, as usual, I use Copic multi-liners. If you want to know more about how I use these colors, you can check out my other video where I talked extensively about how to choose line art colors. So one point to mention here is that actually for her hair, I used a combination of green and also black liners because I really wanted to create some nice texture for her long hair. For skin color, I used E21 as the base because it's a really nice soft tan. And then for highlights, I used R0000. Okay, that's 4 zeros. And then for shadows, I used a combination of BV000 and E13. For hair color, I actually combined 3 different marker colors together. So I used G07, which is a bright green, and then combined it with BG72, which is a less saturated blue-green, and then for the shadows, I used BV25. For her eyes, which are supposed to be dark red, and also any other part of the drawing that's red as well, I used 2 darkish reds, so it's R56 and R35. For her skirt, I wanted to create this really nice blue-violet gradient, so I started off with BV25 as a base color and then added BV13, which is brighter, and then V12 for some highlights. Before I forget, let's also talk about the paper. So the paper I'm using is Copic's Premium Bond paper, and it comes in a sketchbook like this.